Hello and welcome to another edition of the American Scouser podcast. My name is Cozzy and with me tonight I have Jamie and Hooch. How are we, guys?
Great, mate. Not too bad.
Is right, lads. Is right. So this podcast is not really going to be a recap of the Arsenal game. So just so you know, listeners, we did do a wonderful podcast. To be honest, it was the best one we've ever done. But unfortunately, we have lost the recording. So we won't be able to get that out to you, which is really unfortunate. So there's going to be a bit of a catch-up on all the day's events this week. Before we get started, I just wanted to kind of say our thoughts and all with Luis Enrique, who lost his daughter today of cancer at the age of 9. So I know all our thoughts and all the Liverpool family and community are all thinking of him anyway before we get started. So, yeah, all thinking of him right now. But anyway, right, guys, I'm just going to touch briefly on Liverpool Arsenal because it feels like a lifetime ago, to be honest. I just want to know a quick minute. What are your thoughts and your man of the match, basically? Hooch, I come to you.
I think that had to be Mo. He seems to be clicking on all. And it's Arsenal at home, so I was confident. It's like when we play Tottenham, you just know that if the game's close, we're going to pull it out at the end, one way or the other. And when Arsenal comes to Anfield, it's just a matter of time before we put 2, 3, and maybe 4 past them. It's unfortunate we didn't get a clean sheet. It's a shitty goal to give up in the 83rd, 84th minute. It would have been nice for Adrian to have a clean sheet at home. But I mean, I think we played solid on all fronts. Really nothing to be concerned about. Everybody looks like we just picked up rocking and rolling. It's almost like the opposite of last year. We kind of struggled coming out of the gate and we were sluggish. This year, it just seems like every game we just come in and it's balls to the wall, heavy metal football. It's a joy to watch and it's a joy to be a part of.
Yeah, Jamie, I'll come to you, mate. It seems like all the players basically got a 7 out of 10, but Mo Salah got an 8, really. That was the kind of game it was.
Yeah, I mean, Mo obviously gets the plaudits for his penalty and his fantastic breakaway goal, but I don't know. I kind of had a small eye on Bobby just because he's the unsung hero, and he was just subtly running the game, and he's just great to watch on and off the ball. So if I could, I'd give him my man of the match every game, but like you said, everybody gets 7s, but Mo gets the 8.
Yeah, I think it was just one of them games, really, guys. To be honest, yeah, I said it on the lost podcast, really, that if they're the 3rd or 4th best team in the league, then we are streets ahead. So, I think my man of the match I picked was Fabinho. Jamie, I think you went with Firmino, and I think Gordon went with Salah. So, yeah, who choose your man of the match, mate?
Probably Mo, just because he's just up and down wing, and then my favorite thing when he takes his penalty kicks, like you'll see a lot of players now, they kind of hesitate and try to trick the keeper into making the first move. Mo just runs up and it's like, here's my best shot, just try to stop it. Like, guess right, it still doesn't matter. It's fun to, the way everybody goes about it now and tries to make a highlight out of it. Mo's almost like a throwback where he's like, here's my shot, what's coming, I'm going to run up 100 miles an hour, just put my laces through it and just blast it through the back of the net. It's kind of a refreshing way to take it. And today's football, everybody's just dancing around and doing this and doing that and tap dancing up to the ball. He just lines up and just blasts it every time.
Yeah, it's gone the game law. I think it's the best penalties ever took for us anyway. But right, we'll move on there, guys, because so much to get through really tonight. Another thing that happens, which is a really good sign, when your team's successful, you can be in two cup draws in 2 days. So we'll go to the biggest cup, the Carabao Cup. Jamie, I'll come to you. MK Dons away. The old former World London. I don't know if any of our American friends will know who they are. A very controversial football club, let's just say. So if anyone who doesn't really know the backstory, they were a team called World London FC. They actually beat Liverpool in the FA Cup in 88, I think. Vinnie Jones and all that jazz. Laurie Sanchez got the winner.
The crazy gang.
The crazy gangs, because trust me, and guys, if you are new to football and soccer and things, and you do want to know the history, There's a wonderful documentary called The Crazy Gang on YouTube. It's an hour long, and it goes into the back of 90s football and 80s football with this team. So really give that a watch. But anyway, what happened was Wimbledon went bankrupt. So the owner thought it'd be a good idea to just move the team to another place called Milton Keynes. Now, I know that happens a lot in American football, where you can just move franchises. For example, the Oakland Raiders are going to Vegas. You just don't do that in soccer. That's never happened before. They were the first club in the UK to ever do it. And he kept the name Dons, but just changed it to Milton Keynes Dons. They were only formed 15 years ago, I believe. So that's kind of why they're such a controversial club in the UK, because they still managed to maintain the league status. So I don't know if you guys are following, but what happened to Bury and what happened to Bolton, where they're getting relegated out the Football League, what he decided to do was just move, basically change the name and start a new company like you would. And he managed to maintain their league position. So there's a quick background on them for you. Jamie, I'll come to you first. MK Dons away. We should be doing the business, surely. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite funny, quite coincidental, because I've seemed to have spoken about MK Dons to a couple of my mates this week, just with the whole Bury and Bolton financial takeover and possibly liquidation of the club and blah blah blah. But you're absolutely right. We should field a fairly young and inexperienced team and still walk away with the points here, or with the advance into the next round for the Carabao. So yeah, it'll be a good opportunity for the kids.
Definitely. I'm going to come to you guys. I'm going to start to shout. I'm going to start throwing a few players at you. So Hooch, I'll come to you first. Brewster, Lallana, Shaqiri, Curtis Jones will all be looking for a start in this game.
I think I don't think you can start them all, only because that's such a group just to throw together. And we've seen in the past, just because you rotating squad like that doesn't always work. You need to have some mainstays in there just to hold the glue together. But I'd like to see Curtis Jones get a run out. Shaqiri's in witness protection, so I'd like to see him go out and get a start. I don't know what he did, or I don't know, because it seemed like the beginning of last year he was like the super sub. He was the darling of the cop. He came, 2 goals against the Scum. It's just after the New Year, shortly after that, he just disappeared. So I don't know if it's something he's doing in training that we don't see or we're not privy to. But I think Shaqiri, if you're not going to play him in the Premier League, then maybe you have to play him here just to get him some minutes. Because God forbid somebody on our front line gets injured, and you have to have some game minutes in those legs to be able to get him out there for 75, 80 minutes. I think Jones up front would be good for him, and then I'd like to see Shaqiri just get a run out. We kind of know at this point what we're going to get from Lallana. He'll run hard, but I think at this point in his career, it's hard to really, with his injury history, it's hard to bank too much on him for a full-time contribution. But, I would go with Curtis Jones and Shaqiri to start for sure.
Brewster? Ryan Brewster?
Yeah, put Brewster up there too.
You got to think. I just want to tell you when the fixture is. So the fixture is in between. I think it's United, I believe. I might need to Google that again, but I'm sure it's in between United. So it is going to be a kind of game where I think Hoover's going to get a game. I think Lovren will probably get a game. But Liverpool should have more than enough anyway. But we're going to move swiftly on, guys, because there's so much to get through, just off the top of my head right now. So I'm going to bring up before today's draw, which I know we're all going to probably get stuck into in a bit. It's something I kind of want to tread lightly on, because we don't know the full situation. But it seems like young Bobby Duncan's been making a bit of a scene for himself on old Twitter there. His agent released a statement about how unhappy he was at the club. Managed to throw in, I believe, his pay and money about 4 times into the statement. It's not about money. It's not about pay. And also managed to squeeze his cousin Steven Gerrard into the statement, which Jamie Carragher duly picked up on Twitter and informed the agent, who then, let's just say, had some very derogatory terms to say about Michael Edwards. Jamie, I'll come to you. We don't know the full story. There is rumours of mental health and things, and of course, if that is true, then we're all behind Bobby Duncan, and we all feel for him, and we're all with him 100%. I just want to kind of get your take on it, really, without knowing the full story.
Yeah, just to briefly touch back and clarify, we play MK Dons in between Chelsea and Sheffield United. It's the last week of September.
Yeah.
But the Bobby Duncan situation is it's clearly something that neither side, the club or himself, or probably even his agent, want. You know, it's unnecessary. And if there is some kind of bullying issue with the club, Klopp and the board members will be the first ones to squash that. Rightfully so, Jamie Carragher got involved. He was always the loudest player on the pitch, and it's good to see him sticking his 2 cents in, because his 2 cents are worth a lot more than people would give credit for. Obviously, if there is a problem, well, look, at that age, Bobby, the professional, just needs to get his head down and do his work. You know, he's had a pre-season with the club, and I don't know. I just want to see the lad get back to football and what he does best. And it would be a bit of a shame if it was going to end like this. You know, obviously he was at City, and for City to cut ties with him, I don't know. It would just seem like a shame if Liverpool were to cut ties with him, all because of his agent basically being in his ear and telling him, "Look, you're the best in the world. You're the best in the world. You want to be getting games and getting minutes. Of course, you want to be getting games and getting minutes." But I don't know. It's a tough situation. Let's hope he gets to the bottom of it and gets his head down and plays some football.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, really. Hooch, I'll come to you. The kid's 18. It seems like his agent has given him some absolutely horrific advice here. He has untweeted the tweet. He has unfavorited the tweet. It's like he has nothing to do with the tweet. Now, you need to tread lightly, of course, because an extenuating issue regarding his mental health, then by all means, I understand. It seems like to me, from the outside looking in, who does not know the full details, by the way, that it's an extremely bad advice on a very, very young man.
Yeah, I've saw clips since the story broke. I really didn't delve in too much into it. But I'm kind of looking up the tweets and stuff now, and I mean, I think that maybe the biggest takeaway is that his agent has since deleted his Twitter because he got such a huge backlash. So you would think that if it was as serious as his agent let on, you would keep your Twitter and try to stick up for yourself and your client, other than just like setting fire and then walking away from it and leaving everybody else to pick up the pieces. It's tough, you know, an 18-year-old kid. You know, if you're as good as he is and as rated as he is, since the time you've ever stepped on a football pitch, you've been probably the best player on there. And everything's it's kind of come so naturally to you. So maybe it's the fact that he's a little bit behind in the pecking order. But yeah, I hope that, you know, he gets the right people around him. And if it is a mental health issue, you know, he takes a step away from it. Because we just saw with here in the States, Andrew Luck, you know, 29 years old, at top of his profession, going through injuries. He goes, it's not the physical. He goes, it's just the mental rehab. He needed to get away. So I'm hoping he, you know, if there is an issue, Bobby takes steps to, you know, surround himself with the family and the right people. And he just gets himself right. And whether, you know, he comes back and plays for us or not, you know, at the end of the day, we're talking about an 18-year-old kid. And I mean, I know what I was like when I was 18 in high school.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, you got all your thoughts going on. Never mind, you know, being one of the most highest rated young players, especially for a club like Liverpool, and you got everybody pulling at you different ways. You know, the agent wants to get the most out of him because he wants to get his money, you know, down the line. It's just you just hope that the agent's not exploiting him for his own personal gain. Like I said, with him deleting his Twitter and that, it doesn't look like, you know, he just kind of threw something out there. Oh, this landed pretty bad, so I'm just going to delete my Twitter instead of sticking up for my client at the end of the day. Now, like you said, we don't really know what's going on. There's more questions than we have answers.
Yeah, I think, the outside looking in on what's happened, I think the only way he comes back from this is that cousin Stephen kind of gets on the phone and goes, listen, he's made a mistake kind of thing, because I don't care how good you are, no club will have this, no football club will deal with this, the bull crap that his agents kind of spewing out, really. You don't attack club legends. It's just like, it's number one. It's just number one paramount of what you just don't do. Imagine, it seems ludicrous to me. Imagine signing for the Chicago Bulls and slating Michael Jordan. That's exactly, with Jamie Carragher kind of. That's the kind of level we're talking about here. This is not, I just think it's a very touchy situation, and we kind of don't know the full thing. But anyway, just thought I got to bring it up really because it is pertinent to the news with the Reds. So, right, Hooch, I'll come on to something a bit more light-hearted. Virgil van Dijk's the best player in the world. Who would have thought it? You got you got the worst-looking award in the world today. Probably the most ugliest trophy in the history of any kind of sport in the world, right? But it proves that he's the best player in Europe, and we already knew that anyway.
Yeah, I think it just shows, anytime a defender gets an award like that, it really shows how big of an impact he has to have. Because, a lot of times, like the tackles and stuff, like they don't show up in the stats, or how he controls the ball in the air doesn't show up in the stats. But he gets the award ahead of Messi and Ronaldo, who's two of Europe's darlings. It's just nice to see. You could almost expect if he played for like United or one of the clubs in London to get this publicity out the ass anytime they do anything. But for him to win it like that, I think it really shows the voters' understanding of how much he really means to the club, and then just his impact on world football in a whole.
Yeah, Jamie, I'll come to you. Two things. Is it the worst looking trophy in the world? And number two, it probably just confirms that he's probably going to win the Ballon d'Or as well.
Yeah, I think you're pretty much spot on with the worst looking trophy in the world. I mean, it looks about as bad as that bust of Ronaldo's face.
Oh mate, it's like they've got the Champions League open and just melted it down. And went, this is a pile of goop.
A quick mention as well has to go out to Cantona's mental speech.
Oh, fuck me. Mate.
Who let that man on the stage looking like that?
Mate, he must have been, honestly, lad, he showed up like he just got off the sun lounger for the start, which I'm all for, by the way. Football frustrates me because it is for the fans and they make it about the suits, which frustrates me. But he just show up out of the sun lounge and starts talking about this weird alien. And you're like, bro, stay off the drugs, man. Don't do drugs.
He's a spokesman for, which beer is it again?
Is it Cozzy? I can't remember.
Some European beer. Maybe it's, it doesn't matter. But he clearly had a few scoops before he came onto the stage.
Unbelievable.
And what was your second question again?
Just how good Virgil van Dijk, really, and he's probably going to win the Ballon d'Or.
He should do, and defender or not, he deserves it. He played out of his skin, and just a quick mention, Virgil did look good in his suit. I know he looks good in a red kit, but Jesus Christ, the man sharpens up, doesn't he?
Oh, fella, the photo of him and Alison, mate. I think I'm pregnant. Never mind the women. My God.
For real.
Unbelievable. What a guy. Just so you know, guys, Alison also got goalkeeper of the year, which we already knew anyway. You just have these rewards just to confirm who is the best players in their position. And, Virgil van Dijk got the best defender, the best player, and Alisson Becker got the best goalie, which we kind of already knew. So, right, we'll move on to the Champions League draw. I think it's really nice of UEFA to put 3 championship sides in it for Man City to draw. That's really nice. It feels like every time in the group stage, we draw 3 championship sides, which is really nice. It's really nice. Great.
Hasn't helped them in years gone past either, has it?
Oh, mate, like, they through the championship, the 3 championship teams, they would not survive in the championship. But anyway, I'm going off on tangents here, but it frustrates the fuck out of me, right? Let's get that right. I was like, oh, give them Atletico. Let's see them have a good game. But anyway, Liverpool, they drew Napoli, Red Bull Salzburg, and Genk. Hooch, I'll come to you first. What's your reaction to the draw, and what do you think?
I think it's a good draw for us. We should definitely go through. I think we should even probably win it. I know we struggled last year a little bit away from home, in these group stages, but we had to go to Belgrade. And if you ever there's a clip on YouTube of them walking from the visitors' dressing room out to the stadium.
Yeah.
And it's graffiti and riot police, and you could hear the whole stadium bouncing and shaking. I mean, it's a tough place to play. It would look like. But I think we got a little bit of an easier draw. I'll definitely expect us to get through. But yeah, I echo Cozzy's sentiments. And when I saw it, and I saw City and who they got, I mean, there's nobody. I mean, they could play their second squad and probably still almost go perfect in it.
Yeah.
It's almost, you don't want to say, the conspiracy or they're paying or whatever it is. But like last year's group and this year's group is like, God, there's nobody in there that you even think has a chance against them, and maybe saying it's in 2 goals. Mm-hmm. I would like to see them thrown in this is somebody else, even if Madrid or Bayern, just somebody that they have, but it's like they're just going to sleepwalk through the group stage. But Jamie said it hasn't helped them in the past, but not definitely like our group is favorable for us moving on, and this will be a relaxing group stage, hopefully.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Jamie. I'll come to you. I think it's near enough the perfect draw for Liverpool. I wanted Benfica, I wanted Salzburg, and I wanted Atalanta or Genk. So I got 2 out of 3. I'll come to you. Napoli, yeah, they beat us away last year. We beat them at home. Listen, if Liverpool cannot get out of this group of Red Bull, Salzburg, and Genk, we have bigger issues than the Champions League.
Oh yeah, I mean, I get the case that Napoli will be out there to prove themselves up against us again this year. Like we all know, they kind of made a mockery of us last season. Even though we went on and won it, despite all that. I think it's a favourable group. Travel taken into account as well.
Yep.
City will have a nice time going to Russia or wherever, and coming back to the Premier League. That'll be good for them, good for us. So yeah, other than staying away from the big teams, like we really couldn't have handpicked a better group.
Yeah, I did see the fixtures. We play Napoli away first, but we also play Napoli at home last. I can actually see that game, the game 6. I can actually see that just being handshakes all round on a 0-0 draw, and we're all playing the kids because we're all going to be through. I can genuinely see that. I can see Liverpool being ahead of Napoli by a point or 2, and then literally it's going to be it's going to be a bit like Porto at home last year. When we all know it's game over. No, the year before. Sorry, the year before when we won 5-0 away, that it was 0-0 at home. I can see it exactly being like that. It'll all be handshakes all round. We're both through, guys. Let's not exert ourselves here. We just got to kind of thing. I'm happy for the lads because they've never been to Austria, so you can go to Salzburg. I wish I was on that trip. And then Belgium. Can you pick a better place to go on the beers than Belgium and Austria? So,
absolutely.
Cheap beer.
15% beer.
Exactly, mate. And, the Vokarigi's own Genk. I think that's his boy old club, I think. So that'll be nice for him. Probably get the start in them games as well because they're a bit shit. So, no, I fully expect Liverpool to go through. I do want to touch on the group of death, which provoked the greatest reaction in the world from the Slavia Prague director when he got through. I don't know if you've seen this reaction, Hooch. It's absolutely brilliant. Of course, they're in pot 4. He found out that he was in the same group as Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund, and Inter Milan, and his face just smiled and just closed his eyes to say, "Oh fuck, we're on a hiding." But Hooch, I'll come to you. That's probably as hard as a group for one of those big boys who are going to be going out.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I did see Dortmund's Twitter came out and said, looks like it's time to work on our corners.
I did
So
see
nice
that.
little
Brilliant.
shot at Barcelona. Yeah, that's going to be really interesting, though, because any one of those teams, that's going to probably come down to the end. And wouldn't it be something if just somehow, maybe Messi and Suarez don't get right in time, and maybe they drop points early, and maybe wouldn't it be something they got didn't come through out of Group F? I mean, you're pipe dreaming, of course, because if it comes down to it, UEFA will do everything in their power to make sure that Barcelona advances. But I could see it coming down to, it's not going to be as easy for Barcelona as normal. And you never know, like Dortmund's always a tough match. Inter, the players they've added, it's going to be fun to watch that group. It's going to be a match-to-match leapfrogging of each other, and it'll be a fun time to watch. And like I said, wouldn't it be great if somehow Barcelona doesn't make it out of that group? It just would even be even better.
Yeah, Jamie, I'll come to you. I think it's actually I think what Hooch is saying is it's not as a bold thing as you could probably usually say about Barcelona. Now, we all know this is an aging side. Of course, they got Griezmann. They're going to have Neymar. Yes, we get it. But this is also the last season, I believe, at the San Siro for Inter Milan. They are knocking it down. They're getting their own stadium.
Which is a shame,
It is, I think, because it's one of the institutions of football, really, the San Siro. So they're not going to be wanting to go out on the whim. They're not going to want to get whacked at home, either. And you look at Dortmund, who were probably attacking-wise right up there with like Jadon Sancho, Marco Reus, Alcacer and things like that. Good sides, mate. I'm not saying, Barcelona are not going to get out the group, mate, but they're going to find it really, really tough.
Yeah, I seen a comment on Twitter or something, just going back to your man's reaction from Slavia Prague. I'm just here for the gifs. Like, if somebody can just get that reaction as a gif, that's all I'm here for. That's all I'm about. But you're completely right. Inter Milan are going to be up for it. Dortmund are, and like Hooch has said, we're on the Twitter early. That was faster than a TAA corner delivery.
Mate, I don't even think they'd actually put the name up. I think they drew the letter and they were on it. Bang, boom. We know where we're at. We've set our stall out early. Get the first shot in. That's what I always say. Yeah.
So hopefully in mid-September we're saying corner taken quickly, Royce or something.
I think it's one of those as well with Inter Milan guys, and it's someone I want to touch on because they were actually one of my dark horses, not to win it, but to go really deep in the competition. And the reason being, mate, this is a Conte Inter Milan. This is going to be set up and drilled well. Whether you like Lukaku and Sanchez or not, mate, if he gets those guys firing, which that's a strong strike force. Whether you like, we can like them or not, and we can make jokes about them, mate. Lukaku usually gets 20 goals a season anyway, and then Sanchez, we already know what he can do. It's if he can pull that out of him. So I think Barcelona got the work cut out, and I tell you what, mate, whoever drops out of that group and goes into the Europa League are probably the favourites. They're going to win the Europa League as well. So I think it is a tough group, to be fair, but I fully expect the Reds to get through. I don't really expect any of the English clubs not to get through because I know Spurs got Bayern Munich, which is a great game, but the other teams, I can't remember the other teams that they got with them, but they're nothing excellent, let's just say. So yeah, no really big surprises. We all would have loved to see Real Madrid and Liverpool. I would have prayed for it, to be honest. Let's go and whack them twice and say last time was a fluke. I don't know what you guys think about that. Would you rather like Real Madrid?
Oh yeah.
See, look, would you be up for that?
Yeah, I think the old saying is still sharpens steel. So it would be nice to see us battle them out. Have it's like almost in American sport, baseball or hockey or whatever. If you get so far up and away, it's hard to keep that edge through the end of the regular season if you qualify for the playoffs. I think it almost be kind of the same thing with us with Madrid. It'd be like we try to one-up each other, and then the two matches against them just kind of keep our focus forward. We might be qualified after the third match, or damn near close to it. But yeah, us and Madrid would have been nice to see in the group stage.
Well, we'll just have to knock them out in the last 16 instead, don't we?
Yep.
Right. Right, guys, we'll move on. Bit of a game this weekend. We're playing Burnley away. Gordo on the last podcast. Now, we can deny he said this, but I've got a witness with me. Hooch, get a load of this. Burnley was his tip to finish in the top 4. Hooch, discuss. Exactly. That's all we got
Yeah, I
time
don't
for today
know.
on the American Scouser podcast. I'm joking.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what he was exactly in top 4. I mean,
I don't know if he was drinking. I don't know. Jamie, can you confirm if he was drinking? But,
I'm drinking now, and I still can't fathom it. So I don't see how.
I think, in all due respect, I think it was. I think he did have a fair point. I think it was slightly tongue in cheek. It was worth the lols anyway. But
I understand what he said, so we'll explain what he said. He said he sees us an open playing field this year, and he can see a surprise getting into the top 4 because Chelsea not the same, Spurs are suffering, United are fucking shite, and then you got teams like Leicester, Everton, and he was saying well, Burnley can be in around there. Then he said Burnley, and I had to correct him 3 or 4 times. I said no, you never said Burnley. You must have said someone else. But he went with a Hooch, and this is on the Lost podcast, so he might call me a liar. But the other part about this argument is if Burnley finish in the top 4, I will be going in a cave for the rest of my life for the stick I give that man.
Yeah, I just don't see it. It's just even though the quote unquote big 6, even though they on their down years, there still seems like they're still just pure talent wise, just heading like man to man, just almost pure, just head and shoulders above the rest of the competition. I mean, hell, Leicester won his title. What was that? 3 seasons looking back now, so anything's possible, I guess. But I mean, I just don't think Burnley has it in them week in and week out. The way they play. I mean, although if you ask Socrates, they were tough to defend against. But I just can't see them just week in week out just being able to grind those games out and keep everything low scoring through a full 38 game schedule. Maybe they hang around for a bit, but eventually water finds its level, and I think Burnley's going to find its level as well.
Hughes, that was a very dignified way of saying that Burnley are not going to get in the top 4. I had a very different, dignified way of saying it. Of going, Gordon, you're fucking crazy. But it's nice that we got a bit of dignity in it. Jamie, I'll come to you. Top 4 rivals, Burnley, fella. Burnley away, listen, all jokes aside, it's a tough game. They can make it really difficult for anyone. City barely won there last year. They needed the goal line technology to get over the line. They won 1-0. I'm expecting a really tough night for Liverpool, really.
Sean Dyche, he drills his players well. He expects the utmost from them. You take one look at the lad, you can tell he means business. I think it must be 5 or 6 years ago now when Sam Allardyce was managing, and somebody called him Sam Allardyce because he was playing European football. But there's only one Dyke we want to be talking about, and that's Big Virgil. But Sean Dyche or Dyke, however you want to pronounce it, he is a good manager. He's a good manager. I don't think he's a top 4 manager, but like you said, Turf Moor's a hard place to go, and he'll have his players ready to face European royalty on Saturday, and it'll be a tough, a well fought game from both sides. So we can definitely expect them to rise to the occasion. But like Hooch was saying, 38 games is a long time to keep that mentality going.
I couldn't agree more. I just don't on my serious points. I know I was laughing last time and things like that, but on a serious note, I don't see them winning 20 games. That's the issue. You got to get about 70 points to get in the top 4, really, to be up there or there. But I can't see them getting 70 points. That means they have to go and do the double over 6 sides, and I can't see it. I can't see them winning enough away games, and they won't win every game at home. So it's just not, it's just not realistic for me. But Hooch, I'll come to you, Burnley. I think they are a tough side. They're hard to beat at home. You know what you're going to get. The ball will be in the air more than it'll be on the ground. We know all this, but Liverpool have to just keep winning these football matches, and it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be nice, but Liverpool have to win this football match.
Yeah, and I think that's the advantage. We went through this last year through the second half of the season where every match we had a target on our back and we got everybody's best shot, and we learned how to win these tough games. It's easy to win when it's wide open and you're just playing box to box and passes are everything's free flowing and you're playing through balls here and through balls there. But last season we really showed that we can hunker down and win these tough games 2-1, 3-1, even 1-0. And I think that the experience is the best teacher. And I think just falling 1 point shy last year really left a bad taste in those players' mouths. It would be different if we lost by 4 points. Say, if we were less than one game out. But you look back against United and West Ham and some of those games we should have won. Everton on the fucking road of all places, where we drew. I think it really showed everybody that you have to win every match that you're favored in, because if not, I mean, at 1 point, 8 millimeters, whatever the hell it was at City, cost us. So I think it'll be a tough match, but at the end of the day, if we just run at them, play our game, and if the ball's in the air, that's great. Let Virgil just go up and get everything. Fabinho, if he's playing, he'll control the midfield. Maybe Hendo and Milner. I'm sure we'll talk about the lineup in a second, but this is you put them out because they're grinders. They've played through this before. But this is one of those matches where it'll be tough, but you know what to expect. And we showed last year that we can win these types of matches. We can go in and slug it out, get the slums, be chippy, be physical, and then all it takes is 10 seconds of brilliance from any one of our front three. And then next thing you know, the ball's in the back of their net, they're digging it out, and then they have to attack us, and that's when we're still at our best. When teams are coming at us and we can play on the counter. And, if you get one goal, before you know it could be 3. But I think it'll be tough, but we should definitely get the 3 points.
Yeah. Jay, I always say, don't I, that Jurgen Klopp was a mad away game once a season, don't I?
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you this team from last season?
Go ahead.
So we went there 3-1. I don't remember correctly. Alisson made one of the greatest saves you'll ever see. So this was his starting lineup, of course. Alisson in goal. Joe Gomez played right back. We had Joel Matip and Virgil van Dijk. Now this was not the Joel Matip of now. This was the Joel Matip of like Bambi on ice. Joel Matip. He had Alberto Moreno left back. He played. No, we're getting there. He played James Milner left wing. He played 4-4-2. He then played Jordan Henderson and Naby Keita, who was the best player on the pitch. He played Xherdan Shaqiri, right wing, and he played Origi and Sturridge up front. And he left Firmino and Salah on the bench, and Mane wasn't on the bench. So when I tell you
that's about as mental as it gets, isn't it?
Mate, when I tell you that Jurgen Klopp was a one mad away game where you go, what the fuck have you done? It was always Stoke, always for me. And now it was Burnley last year. Don't be surprised, mate. I know fans are not going to like to hear. You might get bang lucky this season, right? Because it's before the international break. And he might have a deal with some of the managers about playing them so he can play a full 90 in this game. But, mate, judging off that starting lineup last year, mate, literally the team could be absolutely anything, couldn't it?
That's...
Sturridge and Origi
up front.
And Moreno.
Milner on the left wing.
Moreno, left back. Salah and Firmino on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, look, whatever he has at his disposal, I'm glad that he knows when and when not to use it. But like we all said, Sean Dyche is going to have his team and his boys up for it. Like, everybody knows we're the champions of Europe, and they're going to want to test us. Like the old saying goes, can you do it on a cold day in Stoke? Obviously, we're playing against Burnley, but it's not going to be a hospitable welcome for us. So whatever we can, like he clearly foreseen that the ball was going to be in the air as much as it was on the ground, and thought, sure, why not? We'll play Sturge and Origi.
It's
So
baffled you, Anna. It's absolutely baffled you.
yeah, I think
We were 1-0 down, by the way. We scored 3 in the last 30 minutes.
yeah.
So, you know. I
Well,
know that doesn't fill you with much more hope. But
no, but it shows that we growed into the game, you know.
yeah. He brought Firmino and Salah off the bench. I think he brought Trent on as well, yeah. So he brought Trent on as well for Gomez, because that got us the width that we needed. He actually, in the end, he brought Moreno off. Okay, he brings Firmino on, and he plays James Milner left back this game. So actually, Milner went from left wing, which he doesn't play, to left back, which he doesn't play. It was just one of them games, I think, where you just had to get the result over the line. Naby Keita was excellent. I think he hit the bar from about 35 yards out, and he was unbelievable this evening. So basically, what I'm leading on to here is that, Hooch, I come to you. I can see a bit of a mad one here, you know. I can see the Origi start. I can see the Shaq start, because he's going to need battlers, and it's going to be horrible. It is really going to be tough. And any of them players who've got these little niggling injuries, you know, where something's a bit tight, they can play on. You do not want to be getting kicked down the pitch at Turf Moor.
Let me get my singing voice out here. James Milner running down the wing doesn't exactly have the same
Yorkshire King.
effect. No, I know, I really don't. I can see, you know, Origi getting a start, and you know, a year ago this time you would have thought it was crazy, but how he showed his mettle on his importance through the last 3-4 months of last year, and how even when he's come on this season, he's really shown that he could be a reliable player to plug in here and there. You know, you don't get the same. Maybe he doesn't get feared as much as, you know, Mane or a player like that, but he's proven that, you know, he's a solid replacement. For a match like this, when you maybe need a more, I don't want to say more of a pure striker, because Mane is just scoring every which way but left right now. But you know, Origi coming in wouldn't be the worst thing. Maybe this is one of those matches where you give Shaq a run. Like you said, you get the international break, so you get 2 weeks off. So you really look at it. Even, you know, Mane really didn't have a summer off. He went right from the Cup of Nations right back into it. So maybe you give him this match off. Hey, we'll throw you on the bench if shit hits the fan. All right, we'll throw you on in the second half. But you know, you give him this break, then you kind of, you know, see what happens in the international break. Maybe he doesn't have to play. Maybe this is his 3-week break he gets off. You know, you get little handshake deals like you said with international managers, but maybe this is one of those ones that you can afford to. You know, it's going to be a shit game. It's going to be a tough, and so you can maybe get away with. You don't need your most skilled players.
Yeah.
Maybe you need your tougher, you know, like your Milners and Hendos in the midfield to just muck it up. And you can go, all right, we're not going to blow the doors off this team. They won't let us do it. But, you know, we can get away with a 2-1, just grind it out victory. And then everybody take 2 weeks off, and then we'll see you after the international break.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, really. The other thing I want to suggest is, lads, Jamie, I'm gonna let this marinate for a second. So remember when Ragnar Klavan got the winner there a couple of years ago, late on?
I do.
I think it was New Year's Day.
Yeah, New Year's Day. And basically, his team then gets madder, gets crazier. Joe Gomez, Klavan, Lovren, Trent. In his midfield was Emre Can, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Gini Wijnaldum. He played Adam Lallana in the forward three with Mane and Dominic Solanke. So, to say he loves a mad one, lad, he loves a mad one. So, I'm going to let that marinate for a second, and I'm going to come to your starting 11. I think we're all going to agree that the goalie and the defence picks themselves. So, Jamie, Hooch, I want you to have a bit of a discussion who you're putting in your midfield three.
I think, like you just said there, he picks battlers for this game. You know, so maybe Gini and Ox again, and Fabinho, I would go with.
Gini, Ox, Fabinho. What do you reckon, Hooch?
I think you need Hendo as much. This type of match it suits him. He's going to run for you. He's going to get in there and get dirty. So I think Hendo starts. And I think at this point you just need Fabinho back there. The pass he gave to Mo for the goal against Arsenal was just out of this world. It really came from nothing. It was just he just saw it, and it's the type of play in this game, especially that if he could pick that out one or two times, that works. And then I really think Milner gets a start here, because if not now, you get 2 weeks off and you have to balance it. I get he's getting older, so you have to balance his minutes. But maybe this is a good match for him to get out there and just tell, hey, we're giving you 75 minutes. Just run through a fucking brick wall for us. Make your tackles. Just take the hits. You dish out hits. Mock it up. And then yes, I would go Hendo, Milner, and Fabinho in the midfield.
Yeah, I think I've got to agree with Hooch. I think that's what he's going to go for as well. I think it will be Fabinho, Henderson, and Milner. I can actually see Origi getting the start over Sadio for the break kind of aspect. The Shaq one interests me a lot. Not that he's going to do it, but I definitely see Shaq in this game somehow or some way. Whether that's off the bench, whether that's one of his first subs, I'm not sure, but I definitely see it. Hitch, I come to you. What's your score prediction?
I want to say 3-1 because I still think as tough as it's going to be, you have to. This is one of those games where it'll be close, it'll be tight, but maybe we're up 2-0, and then we get a third, we get 3-0. Maybe they pull one back, or maybe it's just we get up 2-1 and they throw everything forward at us, and we sneak one out of the back. But I'm going to say 3-1 for us.
Awesome, Jamie. What's your reckon?
Well, I can't go with 3-1 because I went with 3-1 against Arsenal and I ended up being right. And I'm only mentioning it once. I've been right once all season with my predictions. That's it. I'm happy. I'll stick with 4-2. Our last outing against them, we won 4-2. So let's go with a 4-2 again.
I'll go 1-0 Liverpool. I think it'll be a bastard of a match, and I think Liverpool have to get a clean sheet eventually. We were unlucky against Southampton really to concede, and I think it's just going to be one of those games where it's not going to be pretty for anyone involved, but just get the win and get away from there as soon as you can. The main thing is I always look at these kind of games. I know people don't really like to look at other clubs and things. I look at probably 6 or 7 games a season where City could drop points, and I look at Burnley away and they could drop points. I'm not saying they're going to drop points. I'm saying they could drop points. And they, if you go for example, if Liverpool go there and win, they have to go there and win. Because that's how tight it actually is right now between both clubs. We're so good and we're so talented between all of us. We don't drop points many times. You look at your normal suspects like Stamford Bridge and Old Trafford and Anfield where City can drop points. But if you look at teams outside the top 6, they went to Newcastle, lost. They went to Leicester and lost last season. And they were barely lucky to beat Burnley. So I think it's a big game for Liverpool to go and just get the win. But anything else, guys, before we wrap it up?
Hoping for a Brighton win.
I think that's all it's going to be. There's hope, I think. I think they need a miracle, don't they, guys?
Yeah.
So we're still going to be 2 points ahead by the end of the weekend, so we'll take it. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Loads of stuff to get through. It's been a bit shorter than usual. We've had so much stuff, so we'll kind of race through it all. So everyone, like, share, and subscribe to the page. Join us for the chat in the Liverpool FC America Facebook group. All good fun. Just general Liverpool fans all having a gab about the footy. What more could you ask for? Keep on being unbearable. It's the best way to be. Have a good night, guys.
Awesome, lads.
See you later.
All right, man. Cheers.